Hi, I'm Elizabeth Raine, and this is my Gold Award project for Girl Scouts. It's called Bats for a Cause, and in this project I put up 4 bat boxes at Powasset Farm, which is under the Trustees Reservations in Dover. And what I also did was I went to a few centers to teach about bats to the public, and this is one of the centers. So this is my bat box right here. It's a sample bat box. I won't actually be using this. So the bats enter through the bottom here. They fly through, and you can see from the inside, I cut it open. They climb up inside, and there's ridges here where they can grab on and then climb through. And they stay nice and cozy inside, and they clump together, for warmth. And 300 bats from New England can fit in here, which is really cool. And I put up 4 of these at Powasset Farm, so that's 1,200 bats if possible. And over here I have my presentation on bats. So there are 11 types of New England bats. Some of them are the red bat, the little brown bat, the eastern pipistrelle, the hoary bat, but the most common is the big brown bat here. And we have a bunch of interesting bats around the world. Like the world's smallest bat is the bumblebee bat, which is actually little over an inch. And the world's biggest bat is the flying fox in Australia, which is 5'7", as tall as me for its wingspan. Yeah, it's a really big bat. And if you're wondering if bats suck blood, no they don't. There's only one bat in South America that consumes blood, and that's the vampire bat. But that's not the only thing he consumes. And he doesn't bite humans. He only takes little frogs or fish, or even little mice. So bats, they don't eat just mosquitoes. Mosquitoes come for 70% of their diet, but they also eat farmers' pests like stink bugs, June beetles, and hornworm moths. And that's really good for farmers. They cost billions of dollars in pest control. So if bats go extinct, then that's gonna be a major problem, not only for farmers' pests, but they also pollinate. They also pollinate farmers' fruits like peaches, bananas, and mangoes, and also tequila flowers. So that is where a lot of farmers get their fruit from, because the bats pollinate the flowers. They stick their little tongue in the flower and they eat the nectar. And in the process, like bees, they get covered in pollen and go from flower to flower, pollinating them. And that's how we get our fruits. And so bats also eat fruit, but they also produce it the same. And bats, to find bugs in the air, like moths and mosquitoes, they use echolocation. So they send wave signals out into the air, high-pitched wave signals we can't hear, and it bounces off the insects and it comes back to them, and that's how they find their food. But they don't use echolocation just for food. They also use echolocation to find out where other bats are in the sky so they don't bounce into each other. And what's really cool is that in a pack of bats, there is one leader bat, and they mimic that leader bat's flight pattern so they can find enough food. That one leader has found a cluster of mosquitoes, and so they fly around mimicking that pattern of the leader bat, and they can switch roles with the leader bat. And so bats produce in the spring. They mate in the spring, and then at the beginning of summer they have pups, and they live with the pups in the caves or in bat boxes. And so the pups can't fly. They stay with their mother all warmed up until the beginning of fall, when they're ready to fly on their own. And so you can see the model of bat here. They got the wings, which are similar to a human's hand. The fingers are covered in webs, and that's their wings. They have fingers here, which also help them claw up into the bat box. And sadly, their bats are being infected by white nose syndrome, which is the most prominent downfall of bats besides humans. And so it started in 2006 in New York. Nobody knows how it came out, but a fungus has started growing on and spreading on these bats, on the nose, the muzzle, and the wings. And so what happens with these bats is it spreads from bat to bat, and they can't tell night from day. So what they do is they fly around, and then they lose energy, and then they just die off. And it's really sad because it's spreading so easily since they nuzzle together for warmth, so it spreads from bat to bat in the caves. But what's really interesting is the bats that have not been nuzzling together, they've been more separate apart, are actually surviving, and it's becoming more of an evolution process, the bats that have been staying separate from the other ones. And so to help the bat population, which has been going downhill because of humans, I have put up 4 bat boxes here at the Trustees Reservations, and I have some pictures here. I did this on Earth Day actually last week, so I haven't heard obviously about bats being in the bat boxes, but hopefully I'll be going back and checking for bats. So, thank you very much.
How does a bat know to go for a box, and what does it do if people don't build a box?
Bats actually are kind of picky about the bat boxes too. Like for example, the bat boxes, they need to be near a source of water so they can drink water, and they need to be so high, like over 15 feet high, and they need to be near the sun, like as much sun as possible, because they need that warmth up in the bat box. And even with perfect conditions, the bats sometimes don't even go in the bat box. Nobody really knows why, but they're kind of picky. So, but I tried putting up some bat boxes, and we really need to help the bat population here, since there are 4 endangered bats in New England.